Yo, what is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? We are in quite a great position to be watching some amazing anime arcs and stories right now that when we see this week's episode of Dororo, you kind of get the feeling that you get the overall brink of the story. The narrative of the story has been quite put out simply for us, and to see it then flipped on its head and shown a complete new light. Mind you, we just lost some people that were very precious, in my opinion. They were really good people and didn't deserve to go out the way that they did. And because of that, it feels like the main character and the buddy, or like the sidekick, they feel the same way. Like they lost something and they can't really mourn over it because no one really survived that encounter, so they have no one to talk to. And mind you, the person that can talk has a person that really doesn't know how to use his vocals and all that stuff to talk to. So it's this weird situation where there isn't really much talking besides someone talking to himself sometimes, me and the kid. And with this week's episode, we get to see that while he's talking to himself, he overhears an encounter in the woods of seemingly someone having some fun and enjoying themselves. But he instead wanted to throw rocks and tell him to shut up or be eaten by a bear. And by doing so, he hit a certain, like, the basket that this Spider Woman thing had webbed up and knocked the basket out of the tree. So he pretty much then knew to look up, spotting a giant spider-bodied woman pretty much attacking a villager in the sense of she's sucking his life force out so she can live. Um, Very, very weird how it all started with that, the encounter of it, and then all of a sudden they go from, talking and not even talking, they go from straight fighting to then the Spider Woman gets away and we go to a village that they think that they're safe in, and then come to find out the Spider Woman's literally living in the same place they are. So with the story, we have a kid who has no limbs that needs to take out these demons that possess his limbs for the sacrifice that the father has offered, which is kind of funny. It's like the father is almost Indian giving at this point, and I'm surprised the demons haven't taken notice or taken revenge on him, or maybe they can't because they just don't care to venture all the way out to him or something. Because as you can tell, everywhere they travel to, some of these demons are already embedded into the places that they are, like they have natural habitats, or they've already have a feeding ground that they're living in. So they don't really seemingly want to go out of their way to deal with anyone else, in my general opinion, from what I'm seeing anyway. But with that being said, we are watching two people pretty much travel right now, and when all of the other people are living in this village and you know doing whatever they can to get by, they always get to experience it. And sure, the main character doesn't really care to experience anything besides whatever is going on in that head of his. I don't even know if he has a brain. They probably took part of his brain too, like, man, they took everything from this boy. So to go from this village that you had other kids your age and even a girl that was older than you that was kind of like your mom, she was treating all the kids as if they were her kids and taking care of them as best she could. They all pass away, and you have someone who just got his voice and can hear, and even though you're talking to him, he doesn't really care to try to react back. They don't have anything to eat all this episodes. They're chewing on weeds and bugs, and not to mention the guy who runs into the spider lady because after she gets caught up with them and caught with the human guy in the basket, they pretty much cut off one of her limbs as a spider, and that in return makes her retreat and puts her in a position where she's got to really get out of the way, in the sense of, hey, I'm about to straight up get bodied by some kids out here that are capable of fighting on par with us demons, so I need to get out. And she ends up passing out near the village. Some guy takes her in and treats her as if she's a human, and he doesn't even treat her as a human. He treats her as a living being, and that's what really caught her attention and really made her kind of question everything she's been doing to certain humans, and if there was other ones like him out there, because wow, he actually shot me in the air, because she's never met anyone like him, and that's what was really appealing to her about him, which all of a sudden is another reason why this show's narrative took such an interesting turn because of it. We see that she enjoys that aspect, that he's different, that he believes the things that he does believe in. Then after all of that, we then hear the fact that, or not hear, but we see her protecting him. He gets hit by arrows because he's standing next to her, and she looks like how she does. So while trying to help her get out the village, and him snitching on himself and saying he's the kidnapper, they were about to take him out, and come to find out, her body gets revealed to even villagers. They try to take her out. He gets hit by like 2 arrows. She knows she can't heal him, and she just wants to practically spend the last moment she can with him if they really couldn't find a way out of, saving him. So it's that type of stuff that makes me really hopeful for the future of just shows in general that have no real I want to say, like, there's no real dialogue in this show. So to see them then take the perspective of one of the enemies, and then not only are we watching an enemy, we're watching a human that's just struggling. He's watching people die on the work site, and while they die, they're just telling other people to get back to work, and I thought he was working to make money and working to make a life for himself. This man literally has to work because the Lord there commands it. It's not even the type of work that we expected out of this place, and why they're doing it. So they're pretty much being forced, and that's why another reason why she was so confused. Oh my God, he shot a spirit gun at me. That's why she was also so confused as to why he would help and do anything for her, because he had nothing of his own. It was so, man. The guy comes home after saving this girl. Then, after saving her, he then has to go to work in the morning. Or he has to go to work that night that he saves her. Gives her food. Doesn't eat himself. Stomach growls. Goes and does a full shift. Sees people die. Comes home. Feeds this girl again. Without even showing us himself eating. So it's like, this is the type of love and compassion and strangeness that this Spider-Woman is talking about, that she will live to protect. And when he gets hit by these arrows, seeing our main character show up and wanting to take her life, she knew that she wouldn't be able to then get him to a doctor, be able to, spend the time with her. She needed to kill him, kill our main character to be able to live. That's what she started to see. But once she really thought about it and really wanted to do something for someone else instead of herself, her spirit, her soul, started to change into a yellowish, like, tan color. And that was pretty telling to me in the overarching of what is going on. Not to mention the fact that our main character, who sees the red, is witnessing the yellow, but at the same time, when he's starting to see the yellow, he's already starting to put down his weapon. He's already starting to relax. It's almost as if they're the same now, or close to equal terms, because with his soul, it's white, but it has a lot of red fuming from it. And that is what the priest was telling us last week, that a monster could truly come out of that cave once it feels comfortable enough to do so. And if it does, it's going to kill and destroy a lot of life. And that's what this spider was kind of doing. But then she tells us that she doesn't necessarily kill humans. Their life force is way too precious. So she would literally capture me, take some of my life force. I would feel sick, but I would then recover, and I would have a chance to then be her food again. So she's definitely thinking in the future and definitely wanted to be here for quite some time, or at least in an area where her prey is easily, taken out and not aware that she's even there yet, and she's already been doing. I mean, they knew there was a kidnapper, but they thought it was a human. They thought it was just some dude or something, and which it kind of was, right? Like, he confessed it to being the kidnapper, and I kind of forgot if that was true or not, or if he was just saying it to cover her. So you can definitely let me know in the comments down below, please. It would greatly be appreciated. But that is it for this one, guys. I hope you have an awesome day / night, whatever the case you is when you're watching this. I just got time stopped, my God. But yeah, I hope that we get more of this. I'm pretty sure this show is only a 12 episode season. Let me know as well on that if you do know. Because if it is, we're getting close to the end on 2 series that I like a lot on Mondays, and it sucks. Mob and this show are relatively close to the end, if they are both only 12 seasons, which I'm pretty sure Mob is 100% is, and I'm just not sure on this series. So let me know down below what you guys are feeling about this. A lot of people are really hype about just getting new fans into this fandom from the old anime, or I should say the old adaptation of this anime, and to have some newer fans in it is definitely hype for them. So I love that aspect of being able to, hype up some of the OGs of some, like Dragon Ball Z, for instance. I was an OG of that, and seeing all the new people jumping in on Super because of how awesome the fights were and how much they like Goku and all this stuff, that was amazing to me. So I know exactly how this feels for some of the people that are getting new fandoms, new fans into their fandom. So with that, everybody, I hope you have an amazing time watching more of these animes, and Dan Machi is coming out very soon, so if you are hearing me speak these words, know it is going to be on the channel, and I will be doing a full review of all of the episodes. So with that being said, everybody, take care, and I'm going to hit this man with a spirit bomb. Peace.